we have one AI agent that does that for an unlimited number of companies in an hour. And that's how we got together. And then we really just started listening to people and heard about what their challenges are, which is how we landed on what SupplyCo is today.
What's the risk if we don't modernize, right? You said it wasn't broken earlier, so I don't want to use the term fix, but what happens? What's the risk if we don't modernize how buyers and sellers connect in this day and age in 2025 and beyond? What if the biggest problem in US manufacturing isn't reshoring, but matchmaking? In this episode, I sit down with Yannick Weidenhop, founder of SupplyCo, to explore how AI is streamlining the hunt for high-value buyers and suppliers and helping rebuild the American industrial base one deal at a time. Yannick, welcome to the Manufacturing Connector. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I went camping over the weekend with my kids, so I'm simultaneously like rested and more tired than I was on Friday. 2 kids, 2 dogs, me, campground. But it was a beautiful weekend. We got out of the heat of Phoenix. It was phenomenal. Yannick, I'm really excited for our conversation today. You reached out a couple of months ago. We met in person at Automate because you and Claudia are just 2 of the most persistent, like good human beings that I've met. But you guys tracked me down at Automate when I was in this like whirlwind of stuff. Oh man, it was wild. But you guys told me about your platform, and to me, it's pretty revolutionary. It's pretty novel in your approach, and really wanted to dive into this with you a little bit today. Yannick, before we talk about the product, though, we've got to set the stage with who you are and what your background is to even come up with this kind of idea. So give us a little intro on you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Claudia and I started SupplyCo about 6 months ago. Before that, I was originally born in Germany, born and raised in Berlin. Then I went on to study computer science and business in the Technical University of Munich, which is super surrounded by like a bunch of these industrial companies. I worked with Siemens, I worked with GEA, and like got my first touches with manufacturing companies there. And this is always really important, right? Coming from Germany, always had a huge influence, especially around Munich. And then I went on to go to the US, went to university here, came to New York about 4 years ago, and got really excited about AI a little bit before it was hot, which I'm quite proud of. But basically studied data science and then went on to build a lot of these applications that are now possible with AI for large enterprises at McKinsey, which is a consulting company. But through that, I realized, okay, I'm building all these projects. They're limited in time. I want to build something for the longer term. And so I thought back to, okay, what's the longest term thing I know? And it's obviously, for me, it's building a product, building a company. And then also in a sector that is so persistent. And what is more persistent than manufacturing and then the industrials?
Yes.
Nothing really. And then I found Claudia, luckily, and she had the exact same thought. She has a lot of family in the industrial sector and also in aerospace and defense. And was like, I want to build something for this industry. And that's how we got together. And then we really just started listening to people and heard about what their challenges are, which is how we landed on what SupplyCo is today.
That's awesome. So what do you think is broken about how manufacturers and suppliers connect today?
Yeah, I don't think it's broken. I think the industry has been great for a lot of years, and one thing that I really love is just how relationship driven is and how personable everybody is with each other, and like we're also helping each other, right? So I don't think it's broken, but I think it has some challenges. I think that relationship building is the key and have finding people you trust. But the challenge is right now the finding those people, those potential customers that you really trust and you think that could really benefit from your amazing products. Because everybody's so proud of their products. That's the challenge. Like it requires you to go through hundreds of websites. We talk to salespeople who just spend weeks on end on clicking through companies they met at trade shows. Potentially like, is this relevant? What is the mission do I have on them? Um, and I just thought I heard this and I just thought this is so not where people bring the most value. The most value is in like discussing how do we build this? How do we build this together? And
Yeah.
we want to make sure that AI can take care of the part that is just rote research and rote finding out information.
Is there something that you saw in the market that really made you say that there had to be a better way to do this?
Yeah. Um, I mean, it initially came fully from the conversations we had at the industry. We talked to managers in sales and business development at some of these big equipment manufacturers, and they just told us, "Hey, we have this huge CRM of decades of being in business. We have these trade shows that we go to, and we're like, but like we don't do anything with it. It is all we don't use it for anything, and we know our products are great, but they just sit on the warehouse floor." And I was like, that's unfortunate because at the same time, the U.S. industrial base needs that equipment, right? A lot of times it comes from excellent equipment manufacturers here in the U.S. or also from my home country, Germany, or other countries. And I was like, okay, that needs to go there. So we just thought, okay, but there's all this, and then people even said like, oh, there's all this data out there that we just can't access. And we're like, okay, this is perfect. This is exactly where our strengths lie. And it was those conversations, and then also then we were like, okay, we don't know the industry as well as somebody who's been in it for decades, right? We're very want to be very clear on that. But we went to all these trade shows and we're like, okay, people are doubting it. People are like, does this work? And we're like, okay, we can find a better way. So this is shifting how the industry work is shifting. And so all that just reiterated how we think this is shifting to a more consultative approach where it's like, okay, all the research, the brute force work that is done by AI.
Yeah, I love it. So walk us through what SupplyCo does. What does your AI engine replace or improve?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So we build AI agents for industrial revenue teams. What that means is that we have multiple agents that do different tasks. Currently, our uh, core value is in we research all the companies and have our AI agents qualify those companies against what is important to you and to your products with all the information that is available on them. So we've heard that basically a lot of reps right now, they go through companies, they go through where are their locations, what equipment do they have, does my equipment fit with that? And all that is manual work, gets entered into Excel sheets line by line, and takes days, weeks. We have one AI agent that does that for an unlimited number of companies in an hour.
Wow. Wow. So you're taking away a lot of the wasted time, right? That the manual process puts into this.
Because I think what is most valuable is that people talk to people. And
Yeah.
we don't ever want to interfere with that. Um,
Yeah.
but we want to make sure that there's more time for that because there's time missing because people still have to drive around for too long, knock on closed doors, and we want to make sure that they don't knock on closed doors. We want to help to build those relationships in advance, find the right buyers, find the ones with the right pain points, and then build the relationship from there by also finding the right person.
I love it. I love it. Man, I wish this existed when I was in industrial distribution. Talk to us about who this is for. Is this for OEMs? Is this for the shops? Is this for distribution?
Yeah.
Who is this built for?
Yeah. So right now we mainly built this for OEMs we've effective we work with a couple of industry leaders on this and have found that for them it's especially valuable because they obviously want to know, okay, which floor can my machine, my equipment go to. What we've realized by doing that and also, as I said, like building those relationships ourselves is actually that this works. This is so flexible because of the AI component in the back that it works for anybody who makes anything that goes onto a factory floor. Because we have this huge data set of all the factory locations in the United States. And we can find all the information on those companies, like how is their production developing? How big are they? How many people work there? Where are the locations? Is there anything, did they announce any projects recently that are an immediate point to act on?
Yeah.
Have they won government contracts that would warrant a reach out, a little message? And so we see that as valuable to a lot of different people. And we love to work with OEMs. We also love to work with shops and smaller manufacturers.
I'm still kind of blown away because I'm thinking of the things that I sell, right? And having access to that kind of a database and not having to comb through, you know, Zoom Info or LinkedIn or any of those other, you know, platforms out there, would be so helpful. So is this, could this be used by service companies too? I mean, in theory.
In theory, it could. We definitely we want to get one thing right first. In
Okay.
theory, it could. We are talking to some service providers and kind of having early pilots with them. Um, as long as you have an offering and your offering is specific to a certain customer profile, and that customer profile usually we define in terms of um, in terms of what are they offering, what industries are they serving, what parts are they manufacturing, how are they active in those kind of areas, then yes, it can work, and we will make sure it works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, then we'll say like, okay, we'll recommend you other solutions.
I love that take. I love that take. So you said you wanted to start with one thing and do it really well. Why start with sales and lead intelligence the way you guys did?
I think in the end, everything starts with sales, and I think sales gets a bad rep, unfortunately, but it means understanding the customer, something that is in the like generally often misunderstood. But I think especially in our world in startups, it becomes such an important topic, right? This whole customer obsession, and actually, this industry has this incredibly. We have all products have been engineered for years, if not decades, to perfection, just to serve the customers well, be more efficient, automate more. Um, and so I think everything starts with sales, and we want to start there, but we see, and we want to get this right. Oh, there's an unlimited future of, right? Like you have sales, then you have aftermarket, and then you have support, and everybody says like, hey, service sells more than sales. Um,
Yeah.
but we want to make sure this industry needs something that is integrated, something that serves that. Um, and we want to make sure we start here, and then we go step by step and help where we can help.
Does this integrate with CRM systems, or is it a CRM system in itself? I mean, is that the future of Supply Co?
It's not a CRM. So how there's this new paradigm basically. We think it fully integrates with your CRM, also integrates with your email and calendar. Um, but how we think about it is a CRM is a system of record, right? People have CRMs, people have unfortunately also issues with their CRMs, but and
Yes.
we try to help. We help with that. But effectively, a CRM is a system of record. It's your database, right? But it doesn't do really much more than that. You have to enter all the data manually. You have to keep it up to date, and it's also one reason why supply chain even exists, because that is such a big pain for these
Yeah.
established companies. What supply code does differently is we look at all the automatic stuff. We obviously get all the data ourselves, so your sales team doesn't have to enter it. Um, it syncs with your CRM, and then we give you, based on those public events, as I said, like government contract awards, and based on those events, we give you recommendations. Hey, what's next, what's important in the industry right now, what's important to your customers, and how does that map to the products that you offer. So if you offer a 5-axis machine, hey, this company has a 4-axis machine, they've been around for this long, and they've just won this government contract. It's probably good for them to upgrade to a 5-axis now, because that's going to be much more efficient. And instead of having to resolve that big contract on a 4-axis, it's going to be way faster, and they might not even win it because of if they don't have it.
Last question, and then I want to see so this sucker in action. Yannick, what about some of the things that detractors from AI talk about, right? Hallucinations, things of that nature. How do you handle those within these AI bots?
Yeah, great question.
Or AI agents. Sorry, I didn't mean to call it a bot. AI agent.
You could call it a bot. I have
Okay.
no hard feelings about that. No, great question. I think the important part is that AI agents, they need real data as a baseline, which is why we focus so heavily on this data set, which is nothing that is now super new, right? Gathering data
Yeah.
that's been around. But we wanted to focus on getting that right, and then grounding our AI agents in that, making sure that they
Okay.
use that information that has been previously validated. That's
Got
one
it.
thing. There's still risk for hallucinations, which is why we effectively take a very strong triaging or prioritization approach. We effectively say at any stage, you get valuable information to help you with your sales and you identify the right customer, but you can always dive deeper. You can always understand where's the AI coming from. And we'll see this in the product, but effectively that means my first important thing after a trade show, for example, is who should I focus my sales teams or my own attention to?
Yeah.
So we prioritize the companies top to bottom based on your criteria. You say, okay,
Got it.
if push comes to shove and I only have 10 minutes, I should reach out to this company and this person there.
Got it.
If I want to go deeper, I select that company and I get all the information. I get why the AI said this is the highest priority. And I get what is happening to them right now and who works there. If I want to go deeper,
Wow.
I can look at the individual people. What are their job roles? What do they do? Obviously, what's their contact information? And then I can also go deeper and say, like, okay, where do they have the locations? What does this location look like? Is this a production facility or is this a headquarters? Is this just an office? Those kind of things. And we want to make sure that you can go deep, but you don't have to.
Awesome. I love it. I love that. All right. So can you pull it up?
Yeah,
can you show
sure.
us what this looks like in action?
Let's go for it. So this is the general overview of SupplyCo. And as I said, we will dive into the scored accounts in a minute. But the cool thing that is now possible with AI is that, and we talked about like OEMs versus machine shops versus service providers, is we can create this very custom to you. So here we have a demo account for SupplyCo Automation, which is our CNC layoff company. And we do go through this with our users in the beginning. We want to make sure they get this right because this is part of prompting, this is part of AI work, so this can be difficult. But we go through this together. We define what do you offer the market? What is it that you have? What is special about your products? For example, are they specifically efficient? Do they have fast speeds? Do they work specifically good for common applications like aerospace and defense? Do you offer particularly good support that is more important to one type of customer than another one? We put all that in here and are very flexible and wide-ranging in this. Stuff that a senior sales manager, senior salesperson knows, but maybe the most junior doesn't. And so that also puts a little bit of a leveling effect on the team. We then define what does your ideal customer look like? How should they be big? Should they be small? Should they make precise parts, larger parts? Are they growing? Are they trying to get more efficiency out of their existing systems? We define that, also completely custom to our user. And then we define who do you actually want to talk to, right? A lot of these other tools, if you talk to a big company like Eaton or Lockheed, you see 15,000 people there. What am I going to do with 15,000 people? Like you said, right? Do you have to go through LinkedIn or something like that? We say, hey, usually you want to go to the engineers that understand how valuable your product is. You want to go to procurement or finance. But you can define those here, and you can just type in the next one.
Wow. Okay.
So we
I
define
like
all
it.
that, and then with our tool, you add your CRM, for example, or you add a list from a trade show, and then boom, you get it all prioritized. You see here, these are the companies that I'm interested in. They're all assigned to me, and I see here, okay, Eaton has a 9, highest priority, like I said earlier, and they're sorted, and I can say, if I now put my sales team on it, they're going to go through each of these and build a relationship there, because those are my priorities.
Wow. So at Automate, any one of those booths could have deployed Supply Co. post show to prioritize based on the inputs that company had entered in under their profile, and it would prioritize who deserves outreach first.
Yeah, you only need their website, and we pull all the other data.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. And then you see here, okay, Eaton, we found some relevant people. Let's go into it. Let's understand why is this a 9. And what we immediately find is, okay, we have a 9. We see the AI has determined we are looking for big companies because we make big equipment. We also see they're already making significant capital investments, and they're ramping up production in certain areas. Okay, so where are they making those changes? We can, as I said, we can go deeper. We can stop it then and be like, okay, I got to reach out now, or we go deeper and see, hey, they're actively ramping up production. Our AI has gone through their website, all their blog posts, all their news announcements, and we see, okay, there's a new site in South Carolina that's opening by 2027. That's a great opportunity. We see they're growing in different industries, and we see where the AI is getting it all from.
Wow, that's really cool.
Thank you. And then we also see, okay, they've financed certain types of equipment from different companies. That might be interesting for us to consider. We see what products do they make or services do they offer. Also getting it through the AI. We obviously see the AI took into account how big are they, have they received any investments or grants recently? Who are their competitors? And if I want to compare, if I see a competitor, I'm like, oh, they could be a relevant one. I can just add it to the targeted accounts here.
Wow.
And then you also see, okay, there was recently a merger, and if I want to dive deeper on that, I can. And that's just all the information. This is all the information the AI crunches to come up with that score. But you can always cross-reference, check anything, go into detail, craft your pitch yourself. And then we see, okay, there's one specifically relevant person identified. And that person is obviously now the prime contact to reach out to. I can send them an AI drafted email that goes straight based on the on our company and what we think is very valuable to them.
So talk to us about how that then integrates with the CRM or a mailing app or existing sales workflows.
Yeah. So we connect your CRM, we handle that for you, and then everybody has their CRM a little bit different. But the main part is we can pull your companies, the ones that you have engaged with in the past. We have our AI enrich them, rank them for you at this moment in time, and then tell you, hey, this is a opportunity that you should act on now. And then we can also play that information back into your CRM and say, hey, probably maybe the people who worked at the company, they've been outdated a little bit. Maybe they moved positions. So let's get your CRM refreshed and make sure that your sales team can work in that platform.
Wow.
One thing I want to show is here. we have the also look at the location. So for example, here we have the headquarter, and then we can check, okay, what's their location? What does this look like? Is this a facility that I should go by, drive by? And if not, then I don't waste that time on the road, what, 2 hours driving, and just to realize, oh, this is not even owned by Eaton, or this is just an office.
Right. Very cool. Wow. Man. So what, just because I'm curious and it may not have anything to do with this conversation, what does that market research tab do on the left?
So great question. So the market research tab uh, creates research reports on each of the industries that I target with my accounts. So we just saw the accounts here, and we see that each of them has a tag, or you can have multiple tags. And so whenever you create a new tag, our AI automatically goes out and does some research on this, just to make sure that the AI understands the industry and understands what is happening. And then it compiles one of these research reports. So, for example, let's go into electrical vehicle startups here right now. And we see a quick summary, obviously super quickly growing market, pretty big already. You see some key statistics, what is driving the industry, and how can I, as a especially junior salesperson, get up to speed on, hey, my company is now targeting this new industry. I need to know about it, and have everybody on the team have a common understanding of what is important to us, what is happening.
Wow.
And then again, you also, of course, always see the sources.
That's powerful.
I appreciate
it. That's again information that somebody would have spent weeks compiling, right? Wow. So what kinds of results are your current users seeing using this tool, as far as like time savings, sales results, those kinds of things?
Yeah, great point. So we see that time savings are undebated, right? Effectively, previously, we've talked to some of our customers, they would have one person spend 1 to 2 weeks post researching a conference. Those 2 weeks are now freed up.
So they can focus on actual outbound outreach at that
Exactly.
point, instead of managing the data that they collected over the course of a 3 or 4 day show.
Exactly. And the and we also see time savings of probably 5 to 10 hours per sales rep on the like outbound outside sales rep who are driving around and knock on the effectively go to the wrong locations, because we pre-filter them. They don't go to the low probability ones anymore.
Man.
On the revenue side, which is obviously the big one in the room, we see that a single opportunity oftentimes obviously is worth $400,000-$500,000. And we found that a couple of our customers have like hit the jackpot immediately on some of the highly prioritized ones. I'll be honest, we can't guarantee that. You never can, but
Sure.
we definitely see that we're increasing the likelihood of that happening, and see deals starting in the $500,000 to $1 million range.
Man, that can be game changing for smaller OEMs, right? I mean, I think you and I talked at Automate, and if not, then I'll tell you now. My favorite booths at any trade show are the ones around the outside, right? The small companies, those small OEMs that have really, really cool products that nobody knows about because they're not massive organizations. This is perfect for them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We see value, and we want to help as many people as we can, as many companies as we can. For the small ones, we definitely see value in just, hey, you probably have one, maybe a couple of salespeople, and they're just working at their limit. So we give them time back. So now you can actually find the right ones. The bigger OEMs obviously they have bigger sales teams, but then you also have more products to sell, more complicated, a more complex product portfolio, and there the AI helps in figuring out what is relevant for whom.
Wow. Uh, I didn't mean to interrupt your demo. What else do you have to show us in the system itself? Anything?
I mean, this is the main part. We also want to give some general overview of what does your customer profile look like. So we map it out. We're currently working on adding route planning so that the outside sales reps always drive in the most efficient way, just to give time back there too. Right? Like now everybody's dragging and dropping on Google Maps.
Right.
Want to get rid of that and make it easier. But I mean, this is the core part, and we are finding new customers every day for our customers, and we're very excited.
Wow.
We're very committed, and we keep developing it.
That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you guys. I love every bit of this. So is there any surprising behavior or data patterns that your AI has uncovered through the development of this?
I think the biggest one right now, and we're investing into that, is just the best people have their finger on the pulse in the industry, right?
Sure.
So what we just saw with just knowing that, hey, there is a facility opening. Hey, they did just do that new project, or they acquired that company, and doing finding that all out via newsletters, industry magazines, Googling a lot, talking to all your relationships every day. That's hard. And but knowing it is super valuable. So we see that has been huge, and just getting the right timing, finding that information, and then putting it into the qualification correctly. The other part is that we see is just figuring out that what has been really impressive, because I was a little bit worried about the beginning, was that the AI is very good at separating between different customer profiles. If I say, I look for these types of companies or in these industries, yeah, I can handle that, while also saying I want to both target machine shops and the large other manufacturers, right? If I want to do both, the AI now can, and before that, you'd have to create different lists, and you'd have to check there and here, and now we can do it all in one.
Thank you for that demo, by the way. What does a modern supply chain look like for U.S. manufacturing to you?
That's a tough question. I think the supply chains are inherently complex, and they've developed over decades. I believe that we need more direct communication. I think I've heard a lot that people want really good sales, they want really good support, and so I think breaking down those barriers so that the person with the problem and the person with the solution talk to each other as quickly as possible, in both just giving the products but then also maintaining them. That is the goal. I don't think that will be a change to just a single day change. Obviously, this will be developing over time. And I believe reducing complexity generally is good. It makes things, right now, we see a lot of other companies building supply chain tooling, understanding supply chain risk, all very important. I think if those just generally get simplified, and for example, manufacturing in the US has fewer dependencies on companies abroad as well, then that becomes simpler. We want to help right now, and we also want to accompany that. We want to be a partner and also just a thought partner in getting to that more simplified supply chain.
So what's the risk if we don't modernize right? You said it wasn't broken earlier, so I don't want to use the term fix. But what happens? What's the risk if we don't modernize how buyers and sellers connect in this day and age in 2025 and beyond?
We have the challenge that manufacturing is generally pretty expensive here. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that it becomes more efficient. We need to automate more. We need to um, get more efficient in our production and our operations, and I would count sales and support into the operations part. And with that, we can then bring the advantage that the US or the also Europe have, like technology. We can bring that in and say, well, we might not have the cheap production costs right now that other countries have. We can just make everything more efficient. We basically say, hey, the companies that need that machinery need to be ma- manufacturing more efficiently. They get it, right? Like if I give that example of the 4 axis versus the 5 axis again. If I can get to the person that I believe needs that 5 axis machine, that's going to be huge, because this is not like, oh, I just force it onto them, right? It's me explaining that this is a worthwhile investment to them, as long as I just find them. Um, I think that is, and modernizing all those factory floors is incredibly important, and that's a risk if we don't do that. Um, our infrastructure gets outdated. I think those are the challenges that we need to solve. And right now, there's a lot. It's a lot. There are a lot of silos, and who knows who, and do I really know? Can I get to that person? Where should I even put my products? And there are so many amazing products on warehouse floors, and so many people would benefit from them, and they just don't meet.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Again, those small booths around trade shows, they're everywhere. Do you see SupplyCo evolving beyond a lead gen tool into a full blown infrastructure platform, or what vision do you have for the future?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think we are deeply committed to the industry, and I think the exciting part is building good products. Is Building good software has become easier, also with the help of AI. And
Mhm.
so we are deeply committed to our customers and users, and just say, hey, if we can support more processes, and I said it earlier, if we can support sales, aftermarket, support, then we can truly build a business and a product that is really valuable to the whole industry, and
Mhm.
make sure that all those functions are handled by people who understand industrials, who understand the complexity of some of these products, but also are fully automated, are easy, and that people can spend their time on building the machinery, building the real stuff.
I love it. I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. I wish I had this in some of the previous lives that I had with different companies. It would have made life so much easier. Let's talk minute founder to founder here. What's been the hardest part of building a tool like this for the manufacturing industry?
I think something that is hard is understanding all the intricacies of the industry. No product is, no machine, no part is quite alike, and there are a lot of custom adjustments. And so we want to make sure that we can handle those. And I think the only way to handle those is, as I said, is now the modern wave of AI that handles that kind of flexibility, where we can easily discuss these together with our customers
Mm-hmm.
and identify, okay, what is different about this product? Where does this go? The and then the other part is obviously a little bit just getting into the industry. Even more so, I think we've received a very warm welcome, actually, by a lot of people, and been to a lot of trade shows that have been very fun. Um, but it is like adopting technology is not easy. I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely understand that, and so we want to make sure we can. It's not easy to eliminate that fear or that worry, and so we want to make sure that we are a partner in this. We build this, and we continue to build this together. We take our feedback from our customers very seriously. Anything that we plan to build or develop, we share publicly with all our users and basically say, hey, this is what we think is important. What do you think?
Got it. Got it. You're allowing them to help author the change that they need to then create within their own organization,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome. What advice would you give to other people who are building AI tools for the industrial sector? Because I'm sure you've made mistakes and learned lessons. I mean, everybody does. I've made more mistakes in 3 years of running my company than I wish I had to admit, but I now have learned a lot of valuable lessons. What advice would you give to others looking to start something like you guys have?
Yeah, I think the most important part is to listen in the beginning, and we're still listening because, and be very honest. I think we always say to our customers, you know your business better than we do, of course.
Sure.
But we bring this knowledge of data and AI, and we want to help you. And a lot of people are very grateful for that, which I totally appreciate. But we say, hey, tell us what it is that you struggle with. Tell us, and then we listen and say, like, okay, we need to build something that solves that. We don't need to build the chat GPT or something that already exists. Um,
Yeah.
we want to handle specific, want to be aligned with the daily work of a sales rep, of a sales manager, and understand, okay, we need to do this step by step and make sure the software solves their problems.
I love it. All right, man. We're wrapping up here. Where can people get a tailored walkthrough of the platform, or where can they learn more?
The easiest way is on our website, supplyco.ai. You can They can get a demo through there. They can also see another walkthrough of me in a video. There's more details on the website as well about data security, CRM integration, what data we use, all that. And that really is the best point. Otherwise, you can email me. It's yannick@supplyco.ai, and I'll respond to all the emails myself.
Yeah. And if somebody like sees this and is just sold, they're like, I don't need anything else. Do they just contact you? Do they contact Claudia? Do they go to the website and just click sign up? How does that work?
Yeah, easiest is right now we do everything bespoke to our customers. So the easiest
Awesome.
one is to get a demo through our website, and
Awesome.
then we make sure you get onboarded. We create your company profile with you. We find you the first a couple of companies, upload them together just to make sure that you and your team are absolutely comfortable.
That's awesome. And how long does onboarding typically take?
3 days.
Oh man, that's a piece of cake compared to some software systems that most manufacturers have.
It is so easy. It works in your browser. And we just get on there and then you start putting in the companies. And then we can always go deeper from there. But just to get a first taste, 3 days.
I love it. I love it, man. And for those people out there who are potentially looking for a job, I was just on your website as you were giving that answer. Are you hiring right now? If somebody's like, look, I want to get into this world. This sounds really cool. Are you guys hiring? Are you looking for people right now?
Yeah, we absolutely are. We are growing pretty quickly right now and working with a bunch of manufacturers. So we need a couple more hands. I think we're very efficient with all the AI that is out there ourselves, but we are looking for software engineers who are excited to build this product and build the next one. And we're looking for somebody to help us with operations and just tending to our customers.
Yeah. Awesome. Guys, everybody reach out to Yannick. Again, I haven't known him very long, but I'm blown away by this Lando Norris lookalike. And for those of you who watch F1, you'll get that reference. If you don't, then I'm sorry. Start watching F1. But he's a great guy. You are on LinkedIn as well. And so people, you can find him on LinkedIn. You can email him. I'll have his profile. I'll have Claudia's profile, as well as their email addresses and a link to the website in the notes below.
Yeah.
Reach out to them. Really cool stuff. Also, put any comments you have in this show episode here below. If you want more, if you want an introduction from me to Yannick, anything of that nature, just comment below or just tell us what you loved about this episode. Yannick, thank you very much for being a part of this journey. Again, I think your product is phenomenal. I'm so excited to see you guys grow and take off, and always here to hopefully do another one of these episodes in the future, and we can talk about your next big tool. So thank you very much for joining us today.
I'd love to. Thank you so much for having me, Jim.